Hi, everybody. Kevin O'Connor here. I was noticing in some of my presentations as I go around the country that more and more people have a boss who's either significantly older than them or significantly younger than them. And it causes sometimes issues, especially for that person who reports to that person. Sometimes that person they're reporting to hasn't been there that long. They don't have tenure in the company. They seem sometimes ill-informed. Sometimes the older one is hanging on for retirement just a few more years. But in any event, you feel a separation. Now, I'm not talking about Gen X and Gen Z and Gen Y and all that. I know there's wisdom there, and I know you can take a test and an assessment, but I think sometimes it winds up in your file cabinet next to your last performance appraisal. So what I'm talking about here is for you to really be thinking about how can you use your natural skills, your natural, intentional, interpersonal skills to try to figure this out. Now, the first thing to do is you don't have to be a friend to this boss. Get rid of that friend thing. You can be a good coworker. You can help them move their agenda forward. You can be somebody who's a resource for them. But sometimes we spend time just thinking to ourselves how much we either don't like them or how come they got the job and I didn't and all that kind of stuff, which is not useful talk. You want to be useful in working with yourself and in figuring things out. So here's something to play around with. Try to understand the boss, not to change them, not to give them advice. Advice is always a bad thing. Not to tell them your opinion about things, but to really get a good sense of what they're understanding. Alfred Adler said, I have to see with their eyes, hear with their ears, feel with their heart. And it's not just psychiatrists who have to do that. It's you and me who are dealing with people who are quite different from us. Now, the difference I'm talking about today is a difference in age. They're either quite a bit older or quite a bit younger. And yet, that in and of itself sometimes creates some distance. And we can start stereotyping that. Oh, well, he's that way because he's, or she does that because, and what that does is it's not very useful for us. So what I'd like you to think about is, how do I get in sync with them? How do I listen carefully to them? And when I'm stuck, who do I go to listen to me? I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and she was going on about a tough boss who was quite a bit younger than her. And it was causing some real frictions between them. And the whole time I was coaching her, the coaches ask questions, they don't give advice. And the whole time I'm coaching her, I'm thinking, what can I do? What could she do? Going after solutions. That was a mistake. I kept asking questions. I just kept all that stuff in the back of my head. And at the end of it, I always ask this question, what did you notice that you liked about what we did today? She said, I just love that you listened to me. I feel so much better. She said, I don't know that my situation's necessarily be better, but she said, I realize that a lot of this has to do with me. Really? Yeah. Very interesting. So give it a try, see what it's like. You can do this for yourself with a trusted colleague, or some other people are going to come to you, or you can do it by yourself. How am I feeling about this? What's going on here? Not what are they doing? Try to bring the finger back pointing to you. I'm Kevin O'Connor. I'll see you next time. Bye.